Time to get some work done. Do-do-do-do.
Oh, you clicked on me. That's $1 billion, please.
Whoa, I didn't mean to. You literally forced me to do that.
You still clicked. Money, please.
What even are you?
I'm a dark design pattern.
A what?
A dark design pattern. I get you, the user of this fine website, to do something you may not have wanted to do. Isn't that great?
No, why? Who would that even benefit?
Well, if you really want to know, you can watch the rest of this video. Yes, Dark Pattern. In this video, we are going to discuss manipulative designs in apps and websites that you may be falling for every day. Let's get into it. The internet is used by millions of people every day, so people are constantly interacting with products and companies, with the company's goal being for you to buy their products. This leads to dark patterns or manipulative design choices meant to make you as the user do something that you may or may not have wanted to do that benefits the company. Think subscription services that are easier to get into, but make it an Olympic sport to get out of. Or adding things to your shopping cart automatically, or tricking you into giving up your personal information, or even making YouTube videos with clickbaity titles. So why should you care? Design matters. The way an app is built can nudge you to behave in a different way than you would normally, sometimes not for your benefit, but for a company's. And unfortunately, there's not a perfect solution. This video focuses on why ethical design choices in tech are important to your personal and online safety. Let's look at an example. These researchers right here did a study about dark patterns in feminine health apps. Think menstruation cycle trackers, fertility and menopause apps, or general medical information regarding women specifically. The goal was to find out what and if dark patterns were present in these apps and what repercussions that could have. They looked at 16 different femtech apps and dug into thousands of user reviews to see what real people were talking about. Here's common themes that they found. Hidden or undisclosed costs or fees, taking data unnecessarily and without consent, exploiting intimate personal details for some unknown reason, apps that use nagging and scare tactics to get you to buy premium features, confusing or conflicting wording that made apps uninclusive to younger girls. On top of that, the researchers found specific dark pattern techniques that were used across apps. For signups, many apps wouldn't let users track anything until they entered sensitive info like cycle length, symptoms, mood, even sexual activity before telling users why it was needed. Sneaky data sharing. Some apps frame data sharing with third parties as improving your health experience, but hid the real purpose, selling data for profit. Obstruction patterns. Canceling a subscription or deleting an account took multiple confusing steps, something users described as a maze. Interface interference. Buttons to accept all were giant and pink and cute. Buttons to decline tracking were tiny gray text you could barely even tap. The researchers argue that this is especially dangerous because these apps deal with deeply personal health information. These tactics are bad enough, but make those younger in age especially vulnerable. Imagine being 12 years old and trying to use these apps for the first time. When I was 12, I was probably giving every website my personal information, and now it's out there forever. Which is probably why I get so many random emails. Feminine apps deal with very personal and intimate information, so privacy is incredibly important for these. The fact that many of these apps take advantage of that is pretty worrying. What are they using that information for? Is the focus of these apps for women's health or for financial gain? These apps take advantage of the fact that women want what's best for their health and will be more vulnerable to buy something that they think will help them, creating huge ethical and privacy issues. Health apps aren't automatically trustworthy, even if they're labeled femtech. It connects to broader themes: ethics in tech, how our data and attention are being used, and how interface design can manipulate us. After reading that article and In the Name of Science, I decided to find out how much people around my age, aka young adults, know about and are protected against dark patterns. I sent out a 5-minute survey to different groups of my peers and got about 25 responses. Out of those that answered, only a handful previously knew what a dark pattern was, but every single person had felt manipulated by a website or app before, except for one who has no idea, bless their heart. Once people did know they were being manipulated, users reported feeling frustrated and a little angry, but would more often than not keep using the platform, just being more cautious in doing so. To avoid manipulative interfaces, they would try to avoid sharing as much personal information as I can, use ad blockers, clear my cookies and opt out of as many as possible, and uninstall games that bug me. Read terms, sometimes ad blockers, but mostly just saying no to whatever I'm able to. No permission, no consent, no cookies, no app tracking, no personal information or data. Well, the more people are aware of dark design patterns, the more likely they are to recognize and avoid them. Some tactics can be pretty subtle and you won't notice until it's too late. Now that you're aware that dark patterns exist, let's dive deeper into what to look out for. This is a summary of the different types of dark patterns there are. Essentially, there's nagging. It keeps bringing up something that redirects your attention away from your original goal. Obstruction, making the goal difficult to achieve. Sneaking, going behind your back to perform an action that is not the intended goal. Interface interference, using the website's visual design to manipulate the user or hide its intentions. And forced action, blocking the goal until a different action is performed. That's a general breakdown, but if you want to learn more, there's a link in the description to this article. Okay, so now we know what to look for. What do we do when we see it? Unfortunately, there really isn't a perfect solution. There are a lot of sites that use dark patterns, so to just stop using anything that involves it is not practical, especially when not every dark pattern is unethical or meant to steal your data. Shock gasp from the audience. Oh! This video, for example, uses a clickbaity title, which technically is interface interference. Since you may or may not have clicked on this video if you knew it was just an educational video about design patterns. See the irony? So if cutting all dark patterns isn't feasible, the best thing to do is to evaluate your environment. Recognize what you do know about the site and what dark patterns it has, and see if there are things in place to protect yourself. Ad blockers not allowing your cookies to be used, and reading the terms and conditions are just some of the things you can do to protect your information. Since there is no fix-all solution, it's even more important to be aware. If you suspect there are illegal dark patterns, such as stealing your personal information without consent, you can send a tip to local or international agencies. Next time you use an app, notice what buttons they make easy to press and which ones they don't. Awareness is your first defense.